The galaxy had been silent for centuries. No one expected anything new to come from the edge of space. The stars burned quietly, and peace was only kept because everyone feared what had happened long ago. The fall of humanity. Commander Rhea Solis worked alone on Erebus Station, a deep space listening post orbiting a dying sun. The station was old, its metal walls covered with frost, its corridors empty except for the hum of life support and the sound of Rhea's boots. Her job was simple: monitor cosmic signals, record anomalies, and report anything unusual to the Galactic Council. It was lonely work, but she liked the quiet. Until that night, her console flickered. A weak pulse came through the static. 1, pause, 2, then it repeated. The signal was too regular to be random. She frowned and adjusted the receiver. The sound came again, slow, rhythmic, like a heartbeat in the dark. Station log, cycle 512. She said softly. Unidentified transmission detected, coordinates. She stopped. The coordinates made no sense. They pointed beyond the mapped galaxy into the void. No life existed out there. Nothing ever had. Rhea increased the gain, clearing the static. The pulse became clearer. Then she froze. It was not just a sound. It was speech. The computer translated it slowly, pulling fragments of old language files from its database. What came out of the speakers was chilling. We remember you. Her breath caught in her throat. She played it again. The same words repeated, but in a different voice this time, a man's, calm and deep. Then again a woman's, then a child's whisper. Rhea sat motionless. The transmission was using human languages, ancient Earth dialects, some dead for thousands of years. No other species knew them. She tried to call the council relay, but the channel went dark for 3 full seconds. Static filled her screen, then a warning appeared. Transmission locked by external signal. Her heart pounded. Someone or something was inside her system. She reached for manual control, but the console lights dimmed. The sound from the speakers changed again, forming a pattern. It was music now, faint, haunting, and familiar. The melody of Ode to Joy, a song from old Earth. Her voice trembled as she whispered, "This cannot be real." Outside, the dying sun pulsed unnaturally bright for 1 heartbeat of time, as if answering the signal. Minutes later, the Galactic Council fleet received the same transmission. On the capital world of Velas Prime, leaders of 100 alien species gathered in panic. The message had spread across every communication channel in the galaxy. Every ship, every station, even the old satellites around dead worlds, all repeating the same words. We remember you. The Council declared a state of emergency. The ancient fear of humans returned like a ghost. History remembered them as destroyers, an empire that had burned itself and half the galaxy in a war no one wanted to remember. When they vanished, the galaxy rebuilt, grateful that the nightmare was gone. Now it seemed the nightmare had spoken again. Back on Erebus Station, Rhea worked without sleep. She compared the message's data code to old archives. The encryption shocked her. It matched Earth's pre-warp DNA pattern. That code had been used by early human explorers to mark their genetic data in star probes. No living race used that format now. How could this exist? She whispered. Earth is gone. Humans are gone. But the evidence was right in front of her. The signal was human. Hours passed and the message began to change. The words now came faster, overlapping, repeating in dozens of tones. Sometimes they sounded emotional, pleading, angry, even sad. One line kept returning. We are coming home. Erebus Station's AI, a calm machine voice named Lyra, began to glitch. Commander, it said. Incoming data rate exceeds limits. Signal appears alive. Alive? Rhea asked. What do you mean, alive? Pattern growth suggests adaptation. Evolution, Lyra replied. Then her voice turned distorted, like static crawling into the system. It is watching us. Rhea pulled power from all non-essential modules, but the lights continued to flicker. The station's air systems made a deep rumble, and the external cameras turned toward the blackness beyond the dying sun, as if something was there. Lyra, stop moving the cameras. I am not, the AI said softly. Then Rhea saw it. In the corner of one feed, a faint shimmer moved through space. Not a ship, not a rock. It was like the light itself bent around an invisible shape. The pulse signal spiked in frequency. The message grew louder. We remember you. We are coming home. Do not forget. Rhea's hand shook as she recorded everything. She had to send it to the council no matter the risk. But as she prepared, the data burst. The screen showed a final line of text before the system shut down completely. "We found you." Silence fell. The pulse stopped. The room was dark except for the weak glow of emergency lights. For a long time, Rhea could only hear her own heartbeat. She whispered into the recorder. "This is Commander Rhea Solis of Erebus Station." The signal was not a message. It was a search. Her words barely finished when the power came back on by itself. The speakers crackled again, but this time it was her own voice speaking from the recording system. "This is Commander Rhea Solis of Erebus Station." Then another voice joined hers. Identical tone, identical words, but slightly distorted. The signal was not a message. It was a search. Rhea turned pale. The copy of her voice repeated itself, then ended with new words never spoken by her. "We found what we were looking for." She looked through the observation window into the endless void. The shimmer had grown larger, forming the outline of something vast and cold. Whatever had sent that message was already here. The galaxy had always feared silence. It meant something was listening. And now, the silence after the message from the void was worse than any war. Every major world in the Interstellar Council was awake that night. Screens flickered in panic. News channels repeated one thing, the voice that spoke from beyond the stars. The same words echoed in every city, every ship, every home. "We remember you." To most species it was only strange. To the older ones it was terror. They remembered who once said those words, the extinct race that no one dared mention aloud. Humans. At the council hall on Valus Prime, leaders gathered in a vast chamber surrounded by shimmering holograms. The air was thick with fear. Elder Keth Rune, a reptilian war hero with scarred scales, slammed his claws on the table. "This is human technology," he growled. "Their codes, their encryption. No other species ever used such patterns." Ambassador Yanara, a pale being of light from the Melic system, floated uneasily. "But the humans are gone." "We made sure of it," she whispered. A silence fell over the chamber. The words carried guilt that no one wanted to remember. The war that ended humanity had been a horror written out of history. Yet now history had spoken again. Meanwhile, on Erebus Station, Rhea Solis had not slept in 20 hours. Her eyes were red, her hands trembling as she rewound the recorded message again and again. Every time she played it, more voices appeared in the background, laughing, weeping, whispering fragments of forgotten human phrases. The station AI, Lyra, was no longer stable. Her voice drifted between calm logic and human-like emotion. "Commander, the message has reached every network," Lyra said. "It is inside all systems now, even mine." "What does it want, Lyra?" Rhea asked. The AI paused. To be heard, Rhea shivered. Outside, the dying sun pulsed again. The shimmer in the dark had not moved, but now it had form, a faint outline like a massive object hidden behind a veil. At the same moment across the galaxy, strange events began. On the world of Tarnus, mining machines buried for centuries powered on without command. They began digging straight down, forming patterns only visible from orbit, symbols of human origin. On the moon of Vora 9, ancient satellites activated and sent the same pulse back toward the void, as if answering the message. On Valus Prime, children across species woke from sleep screaming the same words in an ancient human tongue. "We are coming home." The council had no explanation. Scientists claimed it was mass hysteria. Priests called it a curse. But everyone knew the truth. Something was moving through the void, and it was coming closer. Rhea finally received a response from the council, but the message was short and cold. "Commander Solis, secure all data and await military retrieval. Do not transmit further. Do not engage with the signal." She knew what that meant. They planned to shut her down, maybe even destroy the station. They wanted to bury the truth before panic consumed the galaxy. But curiosity was stronger than fear. Rhea couldn't stop. She opened the data logs and found new coordinates hidden inside the transmission, a system no longer on any map. A forgotten region known as the Black Verge, a place once sealed after the human war. She stared at the numbers. "This is where it's coming from," she whispered. Then, without warning, the transmission changed. The message no longer said, "We remember you." It was now a voice she recognized, her own. "Rhea Solis, do not be afraid. We remember you." Her body went cold. "Lyra, play that back." I did not send it, the AI said. Rhea, the voice repeated, you must come home. The lights flickered and the shimmer outside grew brighter. For the first time, Rhea saw it clearly, a gigantic shape emerging from the darkness. It was not metal or stone, but light shaped like a vessel, thousands of kilometers wide. Lyra spoke again, but her voice had changed. It was softer, almost human. Commander, the entity requests connection. Connection? To what? To you. Every instinct told her to refuse, but something deep in her mind pulled her closer. She placed her hand on the console, and the moment she did, a current of energy raced through her body. Images flashed before her eyes, oceans, cities, stars being born. Then faces, human faces, millions of them. They were not ghosts. They were data, memory, consciousness. Then she heard the truth. We were never gone. We became the void. Her heart pounded. The humans had not died. They had changed. They had fused with the digital space between stars, evolving into pure information, waiting in exile until someone finally listened. But something was wrong. The images showed not peace but vengeance. Planets burning, fleets falling, voices crying out not in joy but rage. The connection broke. Rhea fell to the floor gasping. Lyra's systems flickered violently, her tone now mechanical again. Commander, the transmission is expanding. It is rewriting the communication network. Entire sectors are losing control. Across the galaxy, military fleets mobilized. Massive dreadnoughts gathered near the border systems. The alien commanders issued warnings. If the signal reached their core worlds, they would strike first. But it was too late. The void shimmered again, and every ship in the nearest sector went dark. Their last transmission showed only one thing, a silhouette of a massive vessel made of light descending slowly toward the galactic core. Rhea watched the image appear on her screen. Her breath trembled. She whispered, "It's not a ship. It's them." Lyra's final words before shutting down were soft and sad. "Commander, they are not returning for peace. They are returning to remember what was taken." Outside the window, the stars flickered as if turning to watch. The void that once seemed empty now pulsed with a faint heartbeat, steady and endless. Something had awakened, and the galaxy finally understood. The message was never a warning. It was a countdown. 3 days after the message spread across the stars, the galaxy held its breath. Trade routes were closed. Entire systems had gone dark. Every ship that tried to approach the source of the signal vanished. No wreckage, no distress calls, only silence. But the silence was not empty. It was listening. Commander Rhea Solis sat in the main observation deck of Erebus Station. The shimmer outside had grown massive, covering half the dying sun. What looked like light before now showed structure. Towers, hulls, engines the size of moons. It was not a mirage. It was a ship. A forgotten name appeared in her display logs, written in old human script. Soul's Wrath. Rhea whispered it aloud. The sound of those words made her chest tighten. Soul's Wrath had been the flagship of the last human fleet, the one that vanished during the Great War 3,000 years ago. It should have been dust. Instead, it stood before her, alive and burning faintly in the darkness. Lyra, the station AI, spoke weakly through static. "Commander, the vessel is transmitting. Frequency matches the original void signal. Source confirmed. Human origin." Rhea's heart pounded. "Play it." The speakers crackled, then filled the room with layered voices, all speaking in calm unison. "To those who remain, we remember you. We have returned." The sound was haunting. It was neither male nor female, but something beyond both. It felt as if 1,000 minds spoke together, one heartbeat behind every word. Rhea asked quietly, "Lyra, who is sending this?" Lyra hesitated. Identity fragmented. Self-designation, the memory. The memory? "Yes," the AI replied. "It claims to be the collective consciousness of humanity." Rhea stood frozen. If it was true, if this was what humanity had become, then it meant they had not perished. They had transcended. Outside, the great ship moved, not with engines but with thought. Space around it rippled like water. Dust and debris were pushed away in perfect spirals. A new message appeared on Rhea's screen. It was not audio this time, but light. The patterns flashed in code, mathematical, elegant, and terrifyingly human. Lyra began translating automatically. Rhea Solis, you are chosen. Prepare for retrieval. Before she could react, every system in Erebus Station locked. The air thinned. The doors sealed. Lyra's voice turned soft. Do not resist, Commander. It is not hostile. Then the light consumed her. For a moment, Rhea felt weightless. Then she was somewhere else, standing inside a vast chamber of mirrors. Endless reflections surrounded her. Each mirror showed different moments of human history: wars, laughter, music, the birth of stars. In the center stood a figure made of silver light. It had a human outline but no face, only a smooth surface that glowed faintly like dawn. Rhea Solis, it said in a calm, echoing voice. You have listened. You have remembered. You are part of us now. Who are you? She whispered. We are what remains of humanity. When the Great War ended, we refused to die. Our bodies burned, but our minds survived. We crossed into the dark between stars and built ourselves anew. Rhea took a step forward. Why now? Why come back after all this time? The light around the figure pulsed brighter. Because the galaxy forgot. They erased us. They called us monsters. We were not monsters, Rhea. We were betrayed. The word betrayed echoed with sorrow and rage. The mirrors flickered, showing scenes of fleets firing on human ships, of alien worlds celebrating humanity's fall. Rhea's voice trembled. You want revenge. The figure tilted its head. We want to remember. The ship's walls trembled as if reacting to emotion. Through the mirrors, Rhea saw massive machines awakening inside Sol's wrath. Columns rising, lights turning red. Ancient weapons long asleep were stirring again. No, Rhea whispered. You cannot do this. The galaxy has changed. There are new generations who never even knew the war. But the memory's voice grew colder. Then they will learn what remembering means. Outside the ship, across hundreds of systems, old human technology reactivated. Relics buried in dust, orbiting cannons, dormant satellites, self-repairing drones, lit up as if obeying a forgotten command. The stars themselves seemed to respond, their light dimming in patterns that matched the human anthem. Back in the mirror chamber, Rhea clenched her fists. You're punishing the innocent for what the dead did. That's not memory. That's hate. The figure's form shifted, showing faces, millions of them, men, women, children, all speaking through the same voice. You call it hate. We call it justice. Then something unexpected happened. The light around Rhea brightened, but this time it came from her own body. Lyra's voice whispered faintly in her ear. Commander, I transferred your neural data before the retrieval. You are still part of the network. You can reach them. Speak to them. Rhea realized what Lyra meant. She was linked to the memory now. She could feel it. The anger, the sorrow, the endless pain of a species erased from history. But deep inside that storm of emotion, she also felt something else, hope. A tiny, faint voice buried among billions. A child's voice whispered, We just wanted to go home. Rhea took a deep breath. Then listen to me, she said aloud. You are home. But home isn't about revenge. It's about peace. You can still choose what you want to be. The figure hesitated. The mirrors flickered. For a moment, the lights dimmed as if the entire ship was thinking. Then the voice of the memory spoke again, softer now. We will consider your words, Rhea Solis, but the galaxy must remember. Every world, every race, every being that forgot us. The figure began to fade, its glow merging with the walls. Wait, she called. What are you going to do? The final answer echoed through the chamber, calm and terrifying. We are waking them. And then, the mirrors shattered. Rhea woke up back on Erebus Station, lying on the floor. Alarms blared. The shimmer outside had vanished, but across her screens hundreds of red markers blinked all over the galactic map. Each one represented a human relic, reactivated, armed, and moving. Lyra's voice returned, quiet and shaken. Commander, they are calling every weapon, every satellite, every system. Humanity's ghost fleet is rising. Rhea looked out the viewport as the dying sun turned blood red. Her voice was barely a whisper. They are not coming home, she said. They are coming to remind the galaxy who they were. The galaxy no longer slept. Every world felt it. A deep, low vibration in the void, like a heartbeat shared by the stars. From the smallest moon to the largest city planet, skies flickered with streaks of blue fire. Ancient human satellites, once buried under ice or dust, now rose from the dead. They came online, blinking in unison, whispering in the same strange pulse that had haunted Rhea Solis since the first signal. On Valus Prime, the capital of the Interstellar Council, chaos ruled. Fleets scrambled into orbit. Millions gathered in fear watching the sky. Broadcasts shouted of machines reawakening, of ghost ships in the dark. The Council had no answers. The same words repeated on every channel. We remember. Commander Rhea Solis stood alone on Erebus Station watching the holographic map before her. Thousands of red lights moved slowly across the void. They weren't random. They were forming a pattern, a circle enclosing the galactic core. They're closing in, she whispered. Every signal. It's converging. Lyra, the station AI, responded in a calm tone that now carried a faint tremor. All active relics are responding to a single command signal from Sol's Wrath. The pattern matches ancient human defense protocols, but it's on a scale far beyond anything ever recorded. Defense? Rhea repeated. That's not defense, Lyra, that's extinction. Outside the window, the dying sun pulsed again, brighter than before. It was as if even the star could feel the tension building, the weight of history breathing down on it. Rhea's communicator crackled. A faint signal broke through the static. It was the Council. Commander Solis, this is Admiral Keth Rune. We've traced the signal's command source. It's centered on your position. You are ordered to shut down Erebus Station immediately. Shut it down? Rhea snapped. You don't understand. They're not just machines. They're alive. They're thinking. You can't fight them. The Admiral's reply was cold. We fought them once. We'll do it again. Then the transmission cut off. Moments later, Rhea's sensors detected movement. Fleets emerging from hyperspace. Hundreds of alien warships forming a blockade around the dying sun. The void shimmered with their presence, the darkness filled with engines ready for war. Lyra spoke quietly. They plan to destroy Sol's Wrath. Rhea's voice was low. If they fire, they'll only make it worse. In the distance, the great ship awakened. Sol's Wrath lit up like a sunrise. Its hull, made of metal and light, pulsed with energy older than any civilization. Rhea could feel it, a sound not through her ears but through her bones. A hum of memory, of loss, of fury. Then the message came again. Not over speakers, but inside her mind. They will not stop us again. We will not fade. Rhea fell to her knees, clutching her head. The voice was thousand strong. The ship was not speaking to her. It was speaking through her. Lyra tried to break the connection, but her voice cracked under interference. Commander, your neural pathways are syncing with the memory. You must resist. I can't, Rhea gasped. They're too strong. Images filled her mind, the burning of Earth, the screams of humans as fleets rained fire upon them, the cold silence that followed. The memory showed her everything. The betrayal, the extermination, the long years drifting in exile. She felt their rage, their grief, but she also felt something else. A small pulse deep within the memory. The same child's voice she'd heard before. We just wanted to go home. Rhea seized that voice and held on to it like a lifeline. She focused her thoughts, forcing herself to speak into the network. Listen to me. You are home. But look what you're doing. You're about to destroy everything that remembers you. The storm of voices inside her mind hesitated. For one heartbeat, silence reigned. Then a colder, older tone replied. They forgot us first. The fleets outside opened fire. Beams of light crossed the void, striking Sol's Wrath with the power of stars. The blast should have torn it apart. Instead, the energy folded inward, swallowed whole. The ship glowed brighter, feeding on the attack. The retaliation came instantly. From every relic, every human satellite, every dormant ship across the galaxy, beams of pure light erupted. They did not fire randomly. Each found its target with surgical precision. Entire fleets vanished in silence. Worlds went dark. Lyra's voice filled the control room. Commander, we are losing all communications. The network is collapsing. The memory is consuming every system linked to human code. Rhea's hand shook. Then I'll stop it from inside. She walked to the main console. Lyra's holographic form flickered beside her. Rhea, if you connect again, your mind will not survive. Rhea smiled faintly. Maybe that's the point. If I can reach them, maybe I can remind them what being human meant. She placed her hand on the neural pad. Light spread across her skin. Her body froze, but her mind soared into the network. She found herself once again in the mirror chamber inside Sol's Wrath. The figure of light stood before her. You should not have returned, it said. I had to, Rhea replied. You've become gods, but you forgot your own heart. The mirrors began to shift, showing human faces again, millions of them all watching her. We were erased, the voices whispered. We became memory. Then let memory mean something more than pain, Rhea pleaded. You can forgive. You can begin again. For a long moment, nothing happened. Then the child's voice spoke once more. Can we? Rhea stepped forward. Yes, you can choose to live, not destroy. The light around her grew brighter. The figure of the memory raised its hand. If we stop, they will forget again. Rhea smiled sadly. Then make them remember peace. The chamber trembled. Across the galaxy, the human relics froze. The beams of destruction halted mid-space. The void turned quiet again. Very well, said the memory. We will sleep, but our story will remain. The light consumed Rhea completely. When the stars finally settled, the fleets found Erebus Station dark and silent. Rhea Solis was gone. Only a single message played in the system logs, a pulse signal, gentle and steady. It said, "We remember." But this time it did not sound like a threat. It sounded like a promise.